7 junior, Reese Riddle. Number 23, a 5'9" senior, Alexa Campbell. And number 33, a 5'8" senior, Emily Wheatweiser. Sidney is coached by Tyler Shaw, Malcolm Kay, and Gordon, and Jessica Hanks. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the starters for Oakland-Craig. Number 0, a 5'8" junior, Chaney Nelson. Number 3, a 5'8" junior, Sadie. Number 5, a 5'8" junior, Loren Johnson. Number 22, a 5'9" junior, Sadie Nelson. And number 30, a 5'8" junior, Shane Johnson. The Knights are coached by Scott Kaczynski, assisted by Joe Anderson and Chris Johnson. Your officials for Game 7, Jeff Swartz.
And ready for game number 6 on the day. It's the Sidney Raiders and the Oakland-Craig Knights, which should be a really interesting matchup. Class B Sidney versus Class C2 Oakland-Craig. My name's Jack McGonigal, joined by Chad Schmidt. And Chad, should be an interesting matchup. You know, two teams that don't get together very often on two opposite sides of the state. Should be a really interesting matchup. Two different classes. I'm excited.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I was looking at this matchup and I was thinking it was a little bit of an odd one, you know. 10-1 in Class B versus 8-3 in Class C2. You know, most people would think it's a little bit of a mismatch, but honestly, with the way that these matches have been put up, I really don't think so.
The beauty of basketball, anybody can beat anybody on any given day. And with that being said, the Raiders win the tip there in the black, Oakland-Craig in the white. And here are the Raiders. And that's Reagan Stanley, the junior, 5'2", driving, kicks it out. And the 3 on the way, long from Alexa Campbell. And it's rebounded by Reese Riddle. Reese Riddle, one to watch for the Sidney Raiders. And now Sidney in the center of the lane. That's Weiser, shot no good. And that move down on transition, shot no good on the layup. And that will be a foul called, and Oakland-Craig, one to watch are the Nelsons.
Yeah, Chaney Nelson just missed the shot up there and got fouled, but being from Broken Bow, Class C, I've seen this team before. We played them in a district final, and we came out on top, but man, it was one of the best basketball games I think I've ever got to watch. It was such a tough game. This Oakland-Craig team is so good, as number 3, Sid Kaczynski, is going to drop a 3 on him right there to start this game off.
So Kaczynski gets the scoring underway, 3-0. Knights in front early. Sidney with the basketball is Brianna Ross. And that one gets away. There's Brianna Ross, number 4, the senior, 5'2", 3 on the way. Reagan Stanley off the mark, but into the hands of Alexa Campbell. And Campbell goes up for a second effort and is fouled. And Campbell will go to the line for the first free throws of the game. And the foul comes on number 30, and Shay Johnson, her first, the team's first. And Alexa Campbell's first free throws up. First one is good. So Sidney on the board, 2-1. Sidney was actually at home last night, 47-35 win against Gering. And the next one goes. Coming in is the Class B number 9 in the Nebraska Preps Power Rankings in Class B. And now moving the ball up the floor, Sid Kaczynski hit the triple earlier for Oakland-Craig. And now that's Chaney Nelson. Nelson swings it to Loren Johnson. Loren Johnson at the wing, and she finds Kaczynski. And now moving, there's Sadie Nelson. Nelson driving off the backboard, center of the lane and in. And the Knights ahead early, 5-2, 6:14 to go first quarter. Now on the opposite side of the floor, Emily Weiser. And Weiser now goes to Campbell down low, but looking for Riddle, and she loses control. And now here come the Knights in transition. And with the ball was Nelson, and puts it in is Chaney Nelson. Nelson to Nelson. And it's Oakland-Craig off to a great start. And here's Brenna Ross. And Ross gets it and loses control as she found Campbell, and a foul called, and Oakland-Craig has the momentum early in this one.
Yeah, number 30, Shea Johnson, was fouled there after getting that ball. But the Knights starting off hot. Really, really looking good. The Nelson sisters, I mean, they're going to be the two hot players of the game. You know, they're always going to be a story to talk about. Chaney Nelson averaging about 16 points a game, and her sister Sadie 14 points a game. So both these sisters really, really phenomenal basketball players.
7-2 Oakland-Craig in front early. Here's Gazinski. Gazinski goes back to Chaney Nelson, runs the baseline, left-handed layup it in. And Chaney Nelson looking sharp so far. And here's Reagan Stanley, number 2. And Stanley drives to her right, and she lays it in. Stanley gets to the rim with ease and puts it in. And 9-4, Knights in front, 3 minutes in.
Sid Gazinski.
Gazinski's three long. It's rebounded by Riddle. And Riddle gets it to Ross. Ross, three ball, no good. Up in the air, and getting the rebound was Reese Riddle as she's fouled on the second chance opportunity, and Reese Riddle will head to the line for 2 free throws. Nice physicality, something we saw from Broken Bow in the last game. Not running back on defense initially after a miss. You go crash the boards and try and score again. And now Riddle is at the line for 2 free throws. And Reese Riddle is good. So 9-5 here in Kearney.
Riddle here could make it a one-possession game if she can make this free throw.
And Riddle. And the next free throw up and no good. And the offensive board by the Raiders, but can't do anything with it as the outlet is Sadie Nelson. Here comes Sadie Nelson. Tempo in transition, off the glass, rolls around but doesn't go in, and it's rebounded by number 12, Gabby Fortner. And now here is the Raiders. And on the floor, and the Knights get the rebound, and a timeout taken by Oakland-Craig. 9-5 early, 4:28 to go first quarter. And the Raiders looking sharp so far, but so is Oakland-Craig. It's been an anticipated matchup. It's been a highly contested matchup. Sidney's been able to get those offensive rebounds, but Oakland-Craig shooting the ball well early.
Yeah, these last couple of matchups, you know, they're kind of your showcase matchups. Sidney and Oakland-Craig, and North Bend and GICC, and then York and Kearney is kind of supposed to be our big showcase match. That's supposed to be the best matchup of the night. Two teams that are just absolutely going to clash. But I'm honestly really, really excited to see North Bend Central take on Grand Island Central Catholic. Two very, very talented schools. North Bend had a phenomenal deep run at state last year. So
they've won the last 2 state titles and are out to an undefeated season this year, a 19-game win streak that dates back to February of 2021. So a very impressive Tiger team, kind of in the Fremont area. And that one is in the hands of Sadie Nelson, but knocked away by Reagan Stanley. And substitutions made for Sidney. And Sidney black on black. Oakland-Craig in the white with kind of the orange on top of their jerseys on the back. And now the Knights have the ball off an inbound, up 9-5 as we reach the midway point of the first quarter. And here's Gazinski, and Gazinski finds number 2 in Rennerfelt. And now back to Seagren. And Seagren, nice cut there by number 3, and Gazinski just short on the shot, and it's taken away by the Raiders.
yeah, she just got a little too far under the basket there. Wasn't quite able to get that shot up in time. But there, number 12 for Sidney, Gabrielle Fortner, able to put 2 in to bring this game within 2, score of 9-7 here. It's going to get handed off to Nelson, who's going to cut the open lane to the basket to make it a 4-point lead once again for the Oakland-Craig Knights.
What I've noticed so far, Oakland-Craig hasn't had much of a problem getting to the rim for those layups. And now down low, but kicking it out for 3 is Weiser, misses, And a collision in the center of the paint between number 12 in Fortner and Sadie Nelson.
I'm really glad no one was hurt there. You kind of heard the crowd give a big old "oh." That's because Nelson went down at a very awkward angle on her knee, which is already all braced up, so just super happy no one's hurt there.
Her first, the team's third already from the Knights, but still ahead by 4. And here's Fortner, and Fortner goes to number 35 in Ramsey. Ramsey now has it back to Westby. 3 on the way, no good, and rebounded by Shea Johnson. And here's the outlet to Sid Gazinski on the right side. She kicks it out to Rennerfelt. 3 on the way, good in the corner on the right side. Rennerfelt hits the triple. 14-7. Oakland-Craig has doubled the Sidney point total to be up by 7. And quick 3 on the way, no good from Ross, and it's rebounded by the Knights. And here comes Seagren. And now Seagren to Gazinski.
That was a really, really good box out by Seagren on the other end. Didn't even give the Lady Raiders a chance at that ball. Now Nelson with it.
Now Chaney Nelson on the baseline, long on the floater, and a jump ball. And possession arrow points towards Sidney.
Got some subs here. See number 22, Sadie Nelson, and number 5. That's Lorin Johnson coming back in here on the Knights side.
So moving the ball up the floor. Here comes the Raiders. Stanley with intensity goes right to the rim, off the glass, and in. And Reagan Stanley gets the easy 2 to go. And now this has been a high tempo game, run and gun kind of basketball. And a travel violation this time from number 30, Shea Johnson. Just takes 1 too many steps with it. And Sidney takes over with 2:05 to go in the first quarter. And here's Stanley. And Stanley runs right into the wall of Sadie Nelson, but Nelson gets flagged for the foul.
Oakland's going to have to be careful with those fouls. 4 already, 2 minutes still left in this first quarter.
And that's 2 on starter Sadie Nelson. So Sadie Nelson is on the bench, as is her sister Chaney Nelson. A couple subs in for the Knights. And now number 2, Reagan Stanley, the point guard, standing at 5 feet 2 inches. And Stanley goes to Weiser. And Weiser having trouble with it to Reese Riddle. And now Reese Riddle at the top of the key goes to Campbell. Now Campbell driving center of the lane. And the shot is good. 3-ball from Ross. Brenna Ross hits the triple, and now Sidney's within 2.
Yeah, they really put on the moves there on the Knights. I mean, kind of shut them down on the offensive zone. There's going to be a shot, no good, into the hands of Brenna Ross.
And out of bounds, last touched by Oakland-Craig. So Ross, wise decision to let that ball just roll out of bounds, and she will inbound it, staring directly at the Sidney bench with 1:11 to play in the first quarter. And here's number 2, Reagan Stanley of Sidney. And Stanley goes to Campbell. Campbell loses control, out of bounds, swatted away by the Knights. So an inbounds play for Sidney under their own basket. And checking back into the game for the Raiders is Gabby Fortner, the 5'11 junior. And now on the inbound, here's Weiser driving, and she walked with it.
Yeah, that one's a pretty egregious travel there. Sometimes, sometimes you kind of slip the eyes of the ref. You can get away with a little extra step here and there, but definitely not that time.
57 seconds flat. And here come the Knights, and especially Sid Gazinski, number 3. And Gazinski goes to Lorin Johnson. And Johnson back to Nelson. Chaney Nelson kicks it back to Johnson. Johnson. And just too far and too high for Gretchen Seagren, who is standing alone in the corner. And it's a turnover, and Sidney will take over. Still down 14-12, 33.9 remaining in the first quarter. And back in is Kayla Westby for the Raiders.
And if it's too tall for Gretchen Segrin, it's probably too tall for anyone out on this court, as she is Oakland-Craig's tallest player at 5'11". Gabrielle Fortner, number 12 for Sidney, is also 5'11", but those are our two tallest players here.
So out of bounds on the miss by Weiser. And an inbound coming for the Knights. The Knights again coming in at 8-3. They're coached by Joe Anderson. He's also the football coach at Oakland-Craig, so coaches multiple night sports. And now a pass that was looking for Gazinski's knocked away by Westby, and an inbound coming for Oakland-Craig. Oakland-Craig ranked 10th in the Class C2 Nebraska Prep rankings. They've won 3 of their last 4, and they smoked Stanton last night, 58-24 on their home floor, as that's a missed 3 and a steal. And at the end of the or near end of the first quarter, another steal, and at the buzzer, will it count? I think it will. And knocking that one in, nice aggressive defense from Segrin as she gets it to go. And 14, they did not count it, so 14-12 at the end of the first quarter. Jack McGonigal and Chad Schmidt right here on Strive.
The University of Nebraska at Kearney continues to make bold moves, like climbing to number 6 for Best Midwest Regional Universities, UNK's highest ranking ever, and opening Discovery Hall, a new building designed for hands-on learning. UNK is a leader in programs like business and technology, health sciences, visual arts, teacher education, and many more. If you're ready to make a bold move towards your career, visit unk.edu and get started today. Be blue, be gold, be bold, be a Loper.
Whether your cart is in store or online, your traffic is on the road or the web.
Back here at Kearney High School between Oakland-Craig and Sidney. So they did count that buzzer beater basket. So it's 16-12, Knights in front. And, I mean, it's been a competitive game so far. I could see this going either way right now. Oakland-Craig shot in the ball well, and they've done a nice job on defense. But, again, it seems like both teams are just allowing some easy layups at the rim.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that. The Raiders defense maybe not as good as it could be, a little sloppy. The Knights have had a lot of easy layups. Chaney, Nelson, has been able to drive in there a couple times pretty easily, very open lane, no one on her for an easy bucket. So Sidney, ooh, that one's off the face of number 23, or 22, sorry, Sadie Nelson.
Yeah, Nelson, a little too hot to handle for her. Fortner took it away, but now it's an inbounds pass underneath their own basket for Sidney. And as Riddle steps out of the game, in comes Campbell, and she will be the one inbound. And Aleka Campbell finds Weiser, but it's taken away immediately by Shea Johnson, and Johnson finds Chaney Nelson, who gets it to Lauren Johnson, who has to chase that down right in front of the Oakland-Craig bench, who is fouled by Aleka Campbell right in front of the Knight bench. And that will be the second personal of the half for Sidney, second team foul, I should say, and that is the second foul on Campbell. So an inbounds pass for Oakland-Craig. And Oakland-Craig now has the basketball. Here's Nelson, and Nelson drives to the rim on the right side, draws contact as she goes up with it. So going to the line for 2 free throws is Chaney Nelson, number 0.
You know, we haven't seen a ton of free throw opportunities yet this game. I'm kind of excited, too, because the free throws have kind of been a make or break point for some of these games. I mean, definitely in that last game, the free throws were huge between the Indians and the Bulldogs. The
Indians how well Broken Bow shot the ball from the free throw line.
Yeah, they drained most of them, maybe missed 3 or 4 in the entire game, but Nelson going to make both there, put her team up by 6, 18-12. She already has 10 points in this game.
Yeah, she has played terrific so far for Oakland-Craig, really put the team on her back here in this first half. Meanwhile, Kayla Westby hands it off to Ramsey in the corner, and now it's back to Ramsey. And now here's Campbell swinging it around to Westby, and Westby on the left side goes to Ramsey. Ramsey on the baseline, back to Fortner. Fortner loses control of it, and it's picked up by Chaney Nelson. And now here comes her sister Sadie. Sadie, pivot, no good. And it's taken away by Shea Johnson, and now backtracking. Here's Chaney Nelson.
Sadie Nelson a little bit shaken up after crashing to the floor hard on that drive. But there will be a foul there, and it looks like it'll be number 30, who is Shea Johnson, going to the line, shooting 2 here for the Knights. Opportunity to put him even farther ahead of, as we've seen in this tournament, or not tournament per se, but this showcase, a 6-point lead is a pretty decent sized lead.
So the first one doesn't go for Shea Johnson. That's already 3 on Aleka Campbell, so we may not see her the remainder of the first half, as 4 team fouls for the Lady Raiders and 5 for the Oakland-Craig Knights. And the second one is no good, so 0 for 2, and the rebound comes to Fortner. And Fortner gets it to Reagan Stanley, who's back into the game. And Stanley, here's Reese Riddle. Reese Riddle on the baseline, nice pass and open Stanley, and she puts it in. Nice pass from Riddle to Stanley, and it's 18-14, and the lead is cut down to 4.
Really impressed there with Riddle, driving hard along the baseline, looked really, really strong, not backing off, and then a great cut by Stanley.
And Lorin Johnson attacked the glass, went for the right-handed layup, and drew contact. So Lorin Johnson is at the free throw line for 2 free throws, and that's the first personal on Reese Riddle and the team's 5th.
Yeah, and fouls are now tied at 5 apiece. So the Knights were kind of in some trouble. It was, I believe, 4-1 at one point foul-wise, but all evened up here at 5. Second shot on its way, no good. Offensive rebound, though, by Chaney Nelson. Gets that out to Johnson.
So, and the 3 on the way, no good. Hopefully something that doesn't come back to haunt Oakland-Craig. 0 for 4 on their last 4 free throw attempts. And here's Reagan Stanley, and Stanley goes to Fortner, and she loses control. Ball's on the ground, out of bounds, and will be staying right here with Sidney. 6:02 to play in the half, 18-14, Oakland-Craig in front early. And checking back into the game for the Raiders is Chloe Ahrens checking in for the first time. Chloe Ahrens, the 5'9" sophomore, into the game for the first time here in the second quarter. As Reagan Stanley gets the inbound. Stanley goes to her right, where Ross is. Try to give and go, but just too high, and Oakland-Craig takes it away. Now here in transition come the Knights, and the lay-in is good from Sadie Nelson. And Nelson puts in the left-handed layup. And Reese Riddle, or excuse me, that's Emily Weiser. And now here's Weiser, top of the key. And Weiser, nobody home on her pass towards the paint, and Oakland-Craig takes that away. And here comes number 2, and Addie Rennerfelt, and she drives to the right-handed layup and gets fouled, and she's heading to the line. Oakland-Craig being aggressive, doing a nice job of picking up fouls and earning chances to the free throw line, but you have to cash in when you get the opportunity at the line.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. They've done a great job at drawing the fouls, but then not doing much on the free throws, which, I mean, if they had made just a couple of their last 4, would have given them a nice break. That one's no good. So
5 misses consecutively for Oakland-Craig. I mean, you hit 3 of those. Instead of a 6-point game, it's a 9-point game, which is a big difference. And 1 more coming for Rennerfelt. And Rennerfelt, the free throw, up and good. So she does get 1 of 2 to go. And now Sidney wants to up the, it's been an up-tempo game all game long. They've been running up the floor, bringing it up, not, walking or jogging, as that one nearly gets away from Ross, but regaining control was Arns, and long 3, Ross, no good. Running after it is Nelson, and Nelson is just getting beat up here in the second quarter. And Euro step from Chaney Nelson doesn't go, and a foul called, and it will go back towards Sidney. But Sadie Nelson getting hit in the face a couple times, and she is
she's looking a little
up.
And it's starting to show too, because not only does the constant running and playing last night and the long travel take wear on your body, but being beaten up so badly just in the first half, that'll take a lot out of you. It's not easy.
So now down low, Riddle on the block and one. She draws the contact on the right-handed block and draws the contact. She's at the line, and that's number 2 on Gretchen Seagren of Oakland-Craig. So a free throw coming for Reese Riddle. 4:45 to go in the first half, 21-16, and Riddle can make it 21-17. Sidney within 4 again. And here comes Sadie Nelson, number 22. And Nelson hands it off. Now back to number 30 in Shea Johnson. And Johnson finds Chaney Nelson on the right side. Nelson trying to get away from the defenders. And here's Loren Johnson. And Johnson kicks it back to Chaney Nelson using the left corner now. Nelson drives center of the lane, rolls around, no good, and rebounded by Arns.
Man, that's a tough shot, isn't it, for Nelson when it just goes in, and now, you know, not a whole lot you could do there. You thought you had it.
And now down low to Riddle and back to Ramsey. Ramsey stop, pop, 10-footer, no good, and it's picked up by the Knights. And now here comes Oakland-Craig. And Sadie Nelson gets it to go off the front iron and in. And she puts Oakland-Craig back up 6, 23-17. Katie Ramsey looking for a wide open Stanley down low, who puts it in. And Sidney, an easy bucket there. And Oakland-Craig and Sidney exchanging baskets. Here's Chaney Nelson, and Nelson draws contact from number 2, Reagan Stanley.
Yeah, Stanley, one of the smallest players on the court, standing at 5'2", but really, really good. I mean, as she's shown, she has so much speed, and she handles the ball so well. Phenomenal player here, pivotal part of this Sidney team.
So 1-and-1 opportunity, 17 fouls against Sidney, 6 against Oakland-Craig. And the free throw no good, but the offensive rebound comes from Sid Kaczynski, and now down to Chaney Nelson, the block. Nelson misses on the shot, but right there back to Oakland-Craig, and a nice block from the Raiders, and it's picked up by Reagan Stanley. And now Stanley pushes it up the floor, and here comes Sidney. Weiser has it, Ramsey, and now down low into too much traffic looking for Reagan Stanley. Last touched by Oakland-Craig, so we'll stay right here with Sidney. 4-point game, 3:11 to play in the first half, and an inbound under the basket for the Sidney Lady Raiders. And inbounding is number 35, the 5'8" sophomore, Katie Ramsey. And Ramsey finds Fortner. Fortner nearly loses control, has to roll it to Weiser. And now back to Fortner on the left side and kicks it out to Westby. Westby swings it to Ramsey. And now Ramsey across the court to Stanley, but just too high for Reagan Stanley. And it's a turnover, and Oakland-Craig takes over.
Coming in for Reagan Stanley, there's number 4, Brenna Ross.
So Ross checks back in, one of the 5 starters for the Raiders. Where's number 4? And now here's Kaczynski. And Kaczynski goes to Nelson. Nelson too hard off the glass, and it's rebounded by Ramsey. Now Ramsey in transition up the floor to Fortner, but Fortner travels. Seems like kind of since the get-go, early first quarter, Oakland-Craig's been able to keep on to this 4, 5, 6-point lead. Haven't really seen Sidney get within 1 or 2.
No, which is good for Oakland-Craig, but you know, you always want to extend that lead. 4 or 5 points just isn't enough against such a good team like Sidney.
And Kaczynski loses control, and she will be run out of bounds, so it will be back to the Lady Raiders. And both teams playing a little sloppy here as we are somewhat approaching the end of the first half.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when you play such a fast-paced game like this, it's really going to be a war of attrition. Go to the locker room, you know, you get your 10 minutes. You got to see how much energy you can bring back in those 10 minutes. As number 24, Westby went up with that one, no good. It's going to be passed down to Johnson.
So Loren Johnson takes over to Nelson, and now back to Sadie Nelson. Short on the 3, but Chaney Nelson was right place, right time. She gets that blocked by Westby, and it's now back to Loren Johnson, who swings to Sadie Nelson, who wants a second chance. She doesn't get it, and Oakland-Craig gets another offensive rebound. Here's Loren Johnson back to Sadie Nelson on the left side. Nelson backs her way, but kicks it back out and swings it. And here's Chaney Nelson, Euro step short, and it's taken and into the hands of number 24 in Seagren, and a miss there. And Sidney finally grabs the rebound, and Fortner goes up for it and is fouled and falls to the floor. So going to the free throw line is Gabby Fortner, the junior.
Man, if you're Oakland-Craig, you gotta score on those opportunities. When
3 or 4 chances and just
when Sadie Nelson is going to go 0 for 3 on three-pointers, when you have it that open, I mean, Sidney's defense was so loose. They were not on the man at all. You got to take advantage of those opportunities. And obviously that's easier said than done, but.
Yeah. So that one goes. So 23-21, and Sidney is within 2 with a minute and a half, just a tad over, remaining in the first half. Game 6 of 8 on the day here at Kearney High. Sadie Nelson brings the ball up the floor. Goes to Lorin Johnson. Johnson finds Gazinski. Gazinski drives, stops, pops in. But from 7-8 feet out, hits the two-pointer. And it's 25-21 Oakland-Craig, back up 4. And Weiser goes to Westby. Now down low to Riddle. Riddle loses control. And it will be out of bounds, last touched by Sidney, so Oakland-Craig will have it just to the right of their bench and to the left from our viewpoint. And now to Sadie Nelson, number 22. And Nelson now down Lorin Johnson.
Johnson was in a little bit of trouble there, had no one to help her out. Found Nelson, Nelson to Nelson here. Out to Gazinski. Gazinski's had a really, really good game. Started off with that big triple. A little bit quiet, but really good on the defense. A deep 3 there from Nelson off the backboard and into the hands of Sidney.
And here comes number 4 in Ross, and she attempts the 3, no good, short on it, rebounded by Johnson, and now going up the floor to Chaney Nelson in transition, right-handed layup and in. Nice job from Chaney Nelson off the glass and puts it in under 15 seconds, and the Knights are up 6. And here comes Sidney, 3 on the way, in and out, no good, and it's rebounded by Sadie Nelson. Sadie Nelson gets it up to Gazinski. Gazinski off the glass and in, and that is how your first half will end. 29-21 Oakland-Craig, and they take the momentum heading into the locker room.
A really, really, really good sequence to end the quarter there from the Knights. They really swung the momentum. Be strong. You want to be putting up 6 points like they did. So we are, as you can see, we have our crew getting set up down there for the halftime interview with Mike Stoddard. So in just a second here, we will do the interview with him. Don't think we're quite ready yet.
And we will head it down to Mike Stoddard with our halftime interview.
All right, Coach, you're getting enough shots. They're just not going in.
That's kind of the story of our whole season. You know, we figure if we shoot enough, some of them are going to go in, so we're just going to keep shooting. We'll just keep shooting.
This game's played at the pace you got. I mean, you have probably double field goal attempts than they do right now, and you're up by 8. You'll take the lead, but, I mean, it could be a lot more.
Yeah, we got to make a few more free throws, too. I mean, and we're getting close to the rim is the thing. It's not. We did miss a bunch of threes, too, though, so I like our defense. We got to rebound better, but I feel pretty good being up 8.
Yeah, the end of the that little run, 4-point run, I guess, swing at the end of the half certainly gives you momentum going to the half. What's the message at halftime here?
I guess defense and rebounding, you know what I mean? I mean, I felt like our defense was pretty good. We just have to rebound a little better because we want to run and we can't run until we rebound.
Right. You can't really tell them, hey, make more shots because you're getting enough.
It's not great coaching, I think.
No. All right, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back at the Nebraska Girls Basketball Showcase here at Kearney High.
The University of Nebraska at Kearney continues to make bold moves, like climbing to number 6 for Best Midwest Regional Universities, UNK's highest ranking ever, and opening Discovery Hall, a new building designed for hands-on learning. UNK is a leader in programs like business and technology, health sciences, visual arts, teacher education, and many more. If you're ready to make a bold move towards your career, visit unk.edu and get started today. Be blue, be gold, be bold, be a Loper.
Whether your cart is in store or online, your traffic is on the road or the web, or you meet customers in person or virtually, your business needs to be connected to customers, the market, and the world. Discover the difference that comes from working with a local team of experts with over a century of experience providing custom fiber-driven solutions to businesses across the Midwest. We understand the changing needs of your Midwestern business because we are a Midwestern business. Great Plains Communications, high-performing network, high-performing people.
Half, Oakland-Craig really was able to capitalize in the final moments there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a great performance by both teams, but Oakland-Craig really taking hold of that last little bit of the game. They were able to put up 6 points, I believe it was, really, really quickly. So Oakland-Craig doing phenomenal. Maybe in a couple seconds we'll get some highlights here on the stream for you and I to watch. Here we go. We got some. But the Nelson sisters have been absolutely phenomenal. I believe they hold 18 or 20 points between the both of them. So really phenomenal stats for them when you have 29 points and you have two sisters that hold over half of them.
So again, Oakland-Craig able to jump in front of this game early. We take here a look at Oakland-Craig and some of the things they were able to provide. Chaney Nelson doing a terrific job. She has a layup right there. And then there is the other point guard, Reagan Stanley, putting one in from the center of the lane. And here's Chaney Nelson again on a left-handed layup. And that's exactly how your half ended. And Sidney, again, Reagan Stanley doing a nice job, the starting point guard for the Sidney Lady Raiders. And here in transition, where Oakland-Craig was able to get a lot of their points, Sadie Nelson on the layup to finish. And then again, Oakland-Craig in transition. And again, that's Sadie Nelson off the rim and in. Oakland-Craig hanging on. The Class C2 is ahead of the Class B. Oakland-Craig needs to, what do they need to do to get this in the win column?
I think Oakland-Craig just needs to keep doing what they're doing. Sidney maybe step it up a little bit on the defense, but with that, I think we're going to take a little break here, and then we'll be right back with the second half. So thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Download the new and improved Strive mobile app for your iOS device. Never miss an event. Get updates, scores, and notifications direct to your iOS device. Download the new and improved Strive iOS app today.
Lines Appliance of Broken Bow is proud to offer their customers a wide selection of home appliances, from washer and dryer pairs to deep freezes. They pride themselves on customer service all the way through to delivery. In addition to appliances, Lines has TVs, some as big as 80 inches, grills, coolers, and other awesome tech. Stop in often to see what's new. Lines Appliance of Broken Bow, online at linesappliances.com.
Back here at Kearney High School. Still 2 more games after this one, after Sidney and Oakland-Craig. At 6:50 p.m., maybe running a little bit behind North Bend Central and Grand Island Central Catholic. It's 20 minutes after the previous game finishes, so North Bend Central and GICC 20-25 minutes or so after this one, and then that will be followed by our nightcap. York and Kearney, the hometown Bearcats, take on Class B's York Dukes, which will be the cherry on top of a great day here at the Nebraska Girls Basketball Showcase that has been brought to you by a tremendous crew right here at Strive. And Sidney down 8 against Oakland-Craig. And again, I am with Chad Schmidt. And Chad, could you give us a little recap of what's happened here today, kind of the winners, and what have the first 5 games entailed?
Yeah, so we've had a really overtime, and Coyotes were able to pull out the lead by 1 point and win that game. And then Blue Hill versus Maywood Hayes was another close game. Clarkson Lane Northwest was a really, really good game. Northwest had the lead. Clarkson able to make the comeback, and then Adams Central versus Bridgeport, another Patriots win. Clarkson Lane and Adams Central are both Patriot teams, so back-to-back Patriot wins there. Broken Bow versus Auburn was a really, really good game. As we've been kind of talking here, the free throws are what made that game, in my opinion at least.
Yeah.
Auburn had a ton of fouls, and Broken Bow was just able to capitalize, maybe missing 3 on the entire day. And then so far, another really, really close matchup. We were within 2 here. And then Oakland-Craig kind of pulled away with it in the last minute of the game. So really excited to see the second half here. I'm expecting a really, really good performance from both teams. I think Sidney maybe needs to clean it up a little bit. On the defensive side, they were running a little loose there, letting Chaney Nelson just run in through the open lane a couple of times. So
it came down to free throw shooting in that Broken Bow game for sure. Oakland-Craig again had 29-21, a Class C2 team. Was ranked 10th coming into the Nebraska Prep rankings today. And it's been a fun day so far, and the fun is nowhere near finished. Again, we have 2 more after this. North Bend Central, the top dogs in Class C1. They'll take on Grand Island Central Catholic. And then it is York and Kearney to follow that one. Again, each game takes place about 25 minutes after the previous game concludes. And we've had 1 overtime game today. That was that Anselmo-Myrna cross-county game.
Yeah, and so with that, we are running about 30 minutes
Your
behind.
cart is in store or online. Your traffic is on the road or the web, or you meet customers in person or virtually. Your business needs to be connected to customers, the market, and the world. Discover the difference that comes from working with a local team of experts with over a century of experience providing custom fiber-driven solutions to businesses across the Midwest. We understand the changing needs of your Midwestern business because we are a Midwestern business. Great Plains Communications, high-performing network, high-performing people.
Download the new and improved Strive mobile app for your iOS device. Never miss an event. Get updates, scores, and notifications direct to your iOS device. Download the new and improved Strive iOS app today.
Back here at Kearney High, getting ready for the second half between Oakland-Craig and Sidney. The Knights ahead 8 points on top of the Raiders.
Yeah, Knights able to take a big lead over the Raiders. You know, 8 points may not sound like a big lead, but in this showcase, it absolutely is. 8 leads can make or 8 points can make or break the game for you, honestly.
So now in the second half, here's Riddle. Riddle spin move gets that stripped, and it's taken away by Stanley. Stanley loses control of it. Now they're about Riddle is on the floor, jump ball, but we have an injured player there.
Chaney Nelson, I believe, had the wind knocked out of her. Riddle spun right into her, so.
It's always tough to overcome, just getting the wind knocked out of you. Feel almost breathless for a couple moments. Just about 23 seconds into the second half, and we were going to take a short break. Jack McGonigal right here on the call, here on Strive.
Become a new Strive school. Join a community of educators and students. Get access to support, resources, and education. Your fans watch for free, and there's even a new revenue opportunity for your school. Contact sales at strive.tv to sign up your school to become a Strive school.
All right, back here live, Nebraska Girls Basketball Showcase. We see Chaney Nelson coming out of the game. Doesn't look to be too injured, hopefully. I mean, you never want anyone getting hurt. So taking it out here for the Knights is going to be Sid Gazinski. She's had a pretty good game so far.
And now Gazinski out of the timeout goes to Rennerfelt. And now back to Lorin Johnson. And Johnson goes to Shea Johnson. Back to Lorin Johnson. And here's Rennerfelt. And Rennerfelt goes to Shea Johnson. And Johnson back to Rennerfelt. Back to Shea Johnson. And Johnson reaching foul. That one will be on Reese Riddle, number 11.
Yeah,
that's the first foul of the half, but her third personally.
Some good defense there from the Lady Raiders. Just making the Knights pass it around. Kind of give and go there with Shea Johnson. She had the ball 5 or 6 times on and off there, so.
And out of the, here come the Knights. 3 on the way, a little long from Gazinski, and the ball on the floor. And Stanley jump ball.
Not to mention, I do think that Chaney Nelson just had the air knocked out of her as she is already back in the game. So that is good to see.
Usually, yeah, it can be a painful little thing happen to you, but you're usually on your back or back on your feet in no time. That's exactly what's happened here. Here's Stanley. Stanley goes to Ross. And back to Reese Riddle, to Emily Weiser. And Weiser now back to Stanley. Stanley over to Weiser. And Weiser to Ross. And Ross to Reagan Stanley. And now back to Reese Riddle. And back to Campbell. Campbell driving and in. Aleka Campbell. And it's 29-23. And here come the Knights. And now here's Gazinski. And Gazinski goes to Johnson. Now Shea Johnson. Falling to the ground was Ross. No call, and now missed shot. Ball's up in the air, and it's taken away by Oakland-Craig. And Lorin Johnson gets it to Chaney Nelson.
Yeah, really good job by Johnson there to catch that pass out of the air. And there goes Nelson to put in 2.
Chaney Nelson to Sadie Nelson. And it's an 8-point Oakland-Craig lead. And here's Reagan Stanley. And Stanley up to Weiser. And travel violation as Campbell walked with it. And it'll go back to the Knights. Up 8 with 5.5 to play in the third quarter.
Like we said, these 8-point leads like this, they can be huge leads in these games. I mean, most of these games end only 5 or 6 points apart. Nelson taking the ball up to court nice and slow.
Sadie Nelson goes to Chaney Nelson. Chaney Nelson, no good. And rebounded by number 4 and Ross. And Ross goes to Riddle quickly. Back to Ross. Now finding a wide open number 12 and Fortner, but can't connect on the put-in. And it's rebounded by the Knights. And here come Oakland-Craig. And here's Nelson. Back to Lorin Johnson. And Johnson goes to Shea Johnson. Johnson now back to Nelson. Nelson finds Sadie Nelson. Sadie Nelson, 3 on the way on the left side is good. The triple from Sadie Nelson. And Nelson up to 11. And now down to Fortner. Fortner, a little long on that. And it's rebounded by Lorin Johnson.
Some really, really good basketball here all around from Oakland-Craig.
Now back to Shea Johnson. To Sid Gazinski. And Gazinski to Chaney Nelson. She takes the 3, no good. And it's rebounded by Sadie Nelson. Nelson tries to split the defenders, loses control. Here comes Stanley flying down the floor. Tried to find Fortner, and no, can't connect. And out of bounds, last touched by the Raiders. And a timeout taken by Sidney. As it's 34-23 Oakland-Craig. We're going to take a quick break. Jack McGonigal, Chad Schmidt.
The University of Nebraska at Kearney continues to make bold moves, like climbing to number 6 for Best Midwest Regional Universities, UNK's highest ranking ever, and opening Discovery Hall, a new building designed for hands-on learning. UNK is a leader in programs like business and technology, health sciences, visual arts, teacher education, and many more. If you're ready to make a bold move towards your career, visit unk.edu and get started today. Be blue, be gold, be bold, be a Loper.
Here at Kearney High, Oakland-Craig out to a double-digit lead, nearing the midway point of the third quarter. 34-23 Oakland-Craig. And what are the adjustments and the things you've noticed that's helped Oakland-Craig get out to an 11-point lead, which was once in single digits before the half?
I mean, really just they've been so aggressive, and it's not that they weren't aggressive in the first half, but kind of like we said, it was going to be a war of attrition, right? Whoever can go to the locker room during halftime, really take those 10 minutes, just get your energy back. And it seems like the Knights have done that. I mean, wholeheartedly, they are just out here full energy. Even though, you know, they played last night, they had a long day of travel to get here, stuff like that, but they are here to play, ready to go. And I think Sidney is a little tired, to be honest. I think, you know, that they played last night too. And although they won that game, you know, that doesn't mean that it doesn't wear you out. They had a long day of travel, but a nice three-point shot there from Ramsey to bring this one within 8.
So Oakland-Craig up 8 still, but nice 3 there from Ramsey for the Raiders. And now here's Loren Johnson, number 5, and now back to Rennerfelt. And now to Johnson. Johnson shot no good. And here comes number
Ramsey.
35 and Ramsey, and on the right-handed layup is good. So all of a sudden, Sidney is within 6, 34-28. And Loren Johnson. And Loren Johnson goes to Gazinski. And Gazinski now to Chaney Nelson. And Nelson back to Rennerfelt. Rennerfelt driving, no good. And it's rebounded by the Lady Raiders. Here comes Sidney. And flying down with his Westby. Westby goes to Fortner. And now the shot is short from Ross. And out of bounds, last touched. It'll go back to Oakland-Craig.
And see, right there on the other end was a little bit of what I meant by the Raiders' loose defense there that just allowed Rennerfelt to run right in the open lane. Although she didn't make the shots, she still had no trouble getting there. Sadie Nelson with the ball now.
Sadie Nelson brings the ball up the floor. And Nelson goes to number 24 in Segrin. Now back and running into a wall was Johnson. But there's Segrin. Shot no good. Foul called. It will go towards Sidney's way. And Segrin, I believe, will get called based on her reaction. And it should be on Segrin. That'll be the first foul by Oakland-Craig of the half, and that's her third personal.
You know, that's really good to make it to almost the end of the third quarter and have your first foul of the half.
Yeah,
one foul apiece. Both teams playing some really clean basketball.
Oakland-Craig has played a very clean third quarter, and that one just read like a book by Sadie Nelson. Should be an easy right-handed layup, and it is. And Nelson responds with 2. And now up to Campbell. Reese Riddle, no good. Rebounded by Shea Johnson. Campbell had 3 fouls in the first half. Left with about 6 minutes to go in the first half. We didn't see her the remainder of the half and at any point till this third quarter until now. And it will be a charge on number 30, Shea Johnson. And that's the second team foul for the Knights. They actually do call that one on Sidney. So that's a second team foul on the Raiders and number 2 on Westby. So 2 free throws coming for number 30 and Shea Johnson, and the free throw is up and good. 37-28. Oakland-Craig ahead 9, minute 41 to go in the third quarter. And another one coming for the Knights, and it's up and good. 2 for 2 there from number 30, Shea Johnson. And Shea Johnson has her first points of the day. Here's Reagan Stanley on the baseline, is pushed by the other number 2, and Annie Rennerfelt. And that should be Rennerfelt's second personal, or it'll be her first personal, the team's second. And inbounds play under the hoop for Sidney. A minute 34 to play in the quarter. And 3 on the way, no good by the Raiders, but picked it up as Ross. And now here's Stanley. Stanley, no good, and rebounded by Johnson. And Johnson up the floor to Seagren. Here's Seagren back to Rennerfelt. And Rennerfelt back to Seagren. Seagren in the corner. Works her way towards the center. Now hands it off to Gazinski and back to Rennerfelt. And Rennerfelt looks over on the left to Shea Johnson. She drives but finds Seagren, no good, gets her own rebound, swinging it around. Here's Sadie Nelson driving, and it's blocked and out of bounds. Last touched by the Lady Raiders, and will stay right here with Oakland-Craig. And into the game is Chaney Nelson for Oakland-Craig. Also who came in? It was number 33 for Sidney.
Yes.
That was Weiser. And now back to Nelson. Nelson, no good. And it's rebounded by Reese Riddle. Reese Riddle being double teamed. It's just taken away by Shea Johnson, who gets the and one. Great defense from the Oakland-Craig Knights.
Wow, really, really phenomenal move from Shea Johnson there. The double team on Sidney and then able to get that, put it in, and draw the and one is just a phenomenal move. The Knights now up by 12, possibly 13 if they can complete the three-point play. Baker's dozen, it'd be a big lead here.
With 44.7 to play in the third quarter. And now the last 4 points for Oakland-Craig have come off of Shea Johnson. And she's short on the free throw, and since it didn't hit the rim, the ball is dead. And it will go back to Sidney. Has some work to do down 12 as we are nearing the end of the third quarter. And here is number 2, Reagan Stanley, bringing the ball up for Sidney.
And the Oakland-Craig defense has been phenomenal. I mean, as I say that, Reagan Stanley cuts through it like butter, but.
And now here come the Knights. And driving and fouled is Chaney Nelson, so Nelson heads to the line for 2 with 21.6 to play in the third quarter.
Knights still up by double digits, up by 10 with a score of 40-30.
So the 4th team foul against the Raiders, and that one goes from Nelson. She's got 13 on the day.
Her and her sister both at 13 right now.
26 of the 41 Oakland-Craig points, and now 27 of the 41 Oakland-Craig points.
Really good day for the Nelson sisters. They are definitely hitting their averages.
So now back to number 12 and Fortner. Fortner drives, no good, gets her own rebound, no good on that effort. And it's taken away by Gazinski. And now up the floor to Johnson. Johnson, no good. And at the buzzer, I believe they'll count it.
Another buzzer beater from Oakland-Craig.
And wow, with that being said, Oakland-Craig leads 44-30. And they're up 14 on the Sidney Lady Raiders after 3 quarters. It is now all Knights on top of the Lady Raiders. And Oakland-Craig really getting out to a big lead as we go towards the 4th quarter. And Oakland-Craig looking really sharp.
Yeah, if you look at these replays right here, some just fantastic basketball.
And Oakland-Craig, really nice defensive efforts going into the final 8 minutes, looking to knock off the 10-1.
Your cart is in store or online. Your traffic is on the road or the web, or you meet customers in person or virtually. Your business needs to be connected to customers, the market, and the world. Discover the difference that comes from working with a local team of experts with over a century of experience providing custom fiber-driven solutions to businesses across the Midwest. We understand the changing needs of your Midwestern business because we are a Midwestern business. Great Plains Communications, high-performing network, high-performing people.
Fourth quarter beginning, Oakland-Craig 44-30 on top of the Sidney Raiders.
Yeah, we've had a great game of basketball here. The past 2 quarters, you know, the second and the third have kind of been all Oakland-Craig here as they make a buzzer beater in the last 2 quarters, and there goes Gazinski putting up a quick 2 points here. 16 might be the biggest lead we've seen all day.
46-30 Oakland-Craig. And here's Weiser. And down low to Shea Johnson. And now back to Chaney Nelson. And now Oakland-Craig working with it. And
Sadie
here's
Nelson.
Sadie Nelson with it, number 22. And now back to Shea Johnson. And here's Loren Johnson.
Johnson to Johnson.
Shea Johnson driving, fouled as she goes up for the right-handed layup. And she'll go to the line for 2 free throws. So the 4th personal, and that's the 5th team foul. Free throws coming. First one no good from Shea Johnson, who had all 4 of her points in the 3rd quarter. And back into the game for Sidney, number 35, the sophomore Katie Ramsey. And one more coming for Oakland-Craig. And that goes. 47-38, big 17-point lead for the Knights. And here is number 2, and Reagan Stanley down low. And good. Stanley gets the reverse layup to fall. And she gets the bucket, first bucket of the 4th quarter. And now, here's Loren Johnson. Johnson goes to Shea Johnson. Shea Johnson backs up, now kicks it back out to Chaney Nelson. Shot no good, and it will be out of bounds, and it will go towards Sidney's way. And now, a couple substitutions being made for the Knights, and now inbounding for Sidney will be Aleka Campbell, the 5'9" senior. And Campbell inbounds to Katie Ramsey. And now Katie Ramsey goes down to Ross, and Ross in the corner finds number 11, Reese Riddle. Riddle high off the glass, no good, and rebounded by Seagren. Seagren goes up the floor to Rennerfelt, who's on the right side. Rennerfelt has an open lane to drive and miss the layup off the front iron, but Seagren gets the offensive rebound, swings it to Chaney Nelson at the top of the key. Nelson at the wing kicks it back out. Now driving is Gazinski. Gazinski kicks it back out. Long 3, no good from Rennerfelt, and another offensive rebound for Oakland-Craig. Here's Chaney Nelson, top of the key. She drives, and off of Oakland-Craig, and will go towards Sidney.
Oakland-Craig had a great offensive sequence there. Really good run. Oakland-Craig still up 15 with a score of 47-32. Taking it up to court for the Lady Raiders was Ramsey, down to Riddle, who was fouled.
Riddle is fouled underneath, so Reese Riddle will head to the line for 2 free throws. That's number 2 on Loren Johnson, the team's 3rd. 5:43 to go in this game. And here is Reese Riddle. And the free throw by Reese Riddle is good. And it hits her first. And one more coming for the Lady Raiders. And the next one is in and out, no good. Rebounded by Chaney Nelson, who gets the ball up the floor. Here's Loren Johnson. Johnson shot no good and rebounded by the Raiders. Here comes Ramsey. Ramsey, Euro step short on it and rebounded by Sadie Nelson, who runs into her sister Chaney. And ball is thrown in the middle of nowhere, and Ross is taking it away. And now Ross on the left side being double teamed, has to get it away. And a timeout is taken by head coach Tyler Shaw and tries to get his team out of trouble. And we will take a quick timeout. Jack McGonigal and Chad Schmidt here. You're listening to Nebraska Girls Basketball Showcase on Strive.
Whether your cart is in store or online, your traffic is on the road or the web, or you meet customers in person or virtually, your business needs to be connected to customers, the market, and the world. Discover the difference that comes from working with a local team of experts with over a century of experience providing custom, fiber-driven solutions to businesses across the Midwest. We understand the changing needs of your Midwestern business because we are a Midwestern business. Great Plains Communications, high-performing network, high-performing people.
The University of Nebraska at Kearney continues to make bold moves, like climbing to number 6 for Best Midwest Regional Universities, UNK's highest ranking ever, and opening Discovery Hall, a new building designed for hands-on learning. UNK is a leader in programs like business and technology, health sciences, visual arts, teacher education, and many more. If you're ready to make a bold move towards your career, visit unk.edu and get started today. Be blue, be gold, be bold, be a Loper.
Right here at Kearney High, 47-33, Oakland-Craig on top of Sidney. Game 6 of 8 of the 2022 Nebraska Girls Basketball Showcase on Strive, put on here at Kearney High School. And out of the timeout, Ross, 3 no good, and it is rebounded by the Knights and nearly taken away, but batted away. And it will stay and will go actually towards Oakland-Craig. 5:09 remaining, and into the game is Sid Gazinski, number 3. Gretchen Seagren, number 24, to inbound.
Seagren's been a huge player, not necessarily points-wise, but she's so tall. I mean, the roster says 5'11", but if you told me she was 6 foot, I'd probably believe you. She maybe looks a little taller than 5'11", and wow, Chaney Nelson's going to fly down the court there and put in 2 points for the Knights. But Seagren, a really, really good player here on this Oakland-Craig team.
And Nelson's got 16 on the day. And here's Fortner, and that one's taken away by Chaney Nelson with a steal. Now being double teamed, has to get it away, and she does, to Seagren, who goes to Sadie Nelson, number 22.
And not to mention, I just looked at my roster, Seagren's also a freshman, so that kind of adds to the wow factor.
Now back to Gazinski, and now into the hands of Sadie Nelson on the left side. As she goes to Gazinski, and now back to Shea Johnson. Johnson loses control. Knocked away by the Raiders, and will stay right here with Oakland-Craig. And inbounding for the Raiders, or excuse me, the Knights, is Sid Gazinski. And Gazinski on the inbound over the top and finds Chaney Nelson, who's short on it, gets her own rebound. No good on that attempt, and it's taken away by Katie Ramsey, number 35, who's moving down the floor quickly in transition, but it's knocked away just out of the control. And here's Chaney Nelson. Chaney Nelson tries to run it down, saves it, but into the hands of Sidney. And now here comes Katie Ramsey. And
man, some fast back and forth here.
And Ramsey is fouled as she goes up for the right-handed layup. So Ramsey's going to the line for 2 free throws.
That's Seagren's 4th foul of the game.
3:53 to go, and Ramsey hits the first free throw. And one more coming for number 35, Katie Ramsey. And that one misses, and the rebound is by Sid Gazinski. And And Gazinski goes to his right. Now to Rennerfelt, to Shea Johnson. Johnson back to Lorin Johnson, number 5. Johnson back to Rennerfelt. Rennerfelt to Shea Johnson. Shea Johnson trying to back her way to her the rim, but goes back to Rennerfelt. And now into the hands of Sadie Nelson. And swinging it around to Lorin Johnson. Now to Rennerfelt. And 3 on the way from Nelson off the mark. Nice save. Still up in the air, but Ross from Sidney takes it away. And that one batted and knocked down by Lorin Johnson, and Johnson takes over. And Johnson at the top of the keys fouled from behind by Aleka Campbell. And that should be, that'll be a shooting foul, and that is Campbell's 5th personal, so she is out of the game with 2:56 to play.
That is the 6th foul for the Raiders, so it won't be a shooting foul quite yet. But Oakland looking like a powerhouse out here on the court. I mean, they are, for the most part, shutting down the Lady Raiders.
They've played very good defense, as that's the 3rd personal on number 22, Sadie Nelson, the team's 5th. So yeah, 6 team fouls for Sidney, 5 for Oakland-Craig. And driving, nice job there on the right-handed layup from Katie Ramsey. She gets that one to go. And Ramsey up to 8 points on the day. And now back to Sadie Nelson at the top of the key, number 22, being defended by Reagan Stanley. Now to Rennerfelt, to Chaney Nelson. And Nelson finds Shea Johnson on that right side. And Johnson looking around, finds it into trouble, risky pass, but it does work out in their favor as Rennerfelt connects for the layup, and it's 51-36, up 15. We'll stay right here. So Sidney and Oakland-Craig wrapping things up here in the 4th quarter. Again, 2 more ahead of you. North Bend Central GICC and York and Kearney. And Sidney, if you're unfamiliar with that is, that's out in kind of the western Nebraska, home, the first home of Cabela's in Sidney, and then Oakland-Craig kind of in the north, working towards the eastern part of the state, kind of north of Blair, Takema, that area. So again, 2 teams, one from the east, one from the west. Like you said, an odd, interesting matchup, but it's gone Oakland-Craig's way so far.
Yeah, most people would look at this matchup and say, man, Sidney's going to destroy them. They're the higher class, they're the better record, but Oakland-Craig is a really, really good team, and they have been for a long time. And one thing about Oakland-Craig, Jack, would you look at their roster and tell me how many seniors Oakland-Craig has?
This team will be this team next year. No seniors on the team. So that is quite impressive. Oakland-Craig will just reload for next year. So this team has some promise. And that was a nice point you made there, because this team is going to be ready to roll once the 2022-23 season rolls around. As a foul called there at midcourt. And what's next for Oakland-Craig? BRLD on the road, Elmwood Murdoch on the road. Then they're not home till the 18th when they take on Takema Herman, and then they play North Bend Central
who
on
we'll
the
see in
20th.
the next game.
And that'll be a heck of a game between those two schools. So at the line is Sadie Nelson for 2 free throws. And Nelson misses, actually. It was a 1-and-1 opportunity. And Oakland-Craig snags another offensive rebound, but Nelson redeems herself with a bucket there on the left side. And 53-36, under 2 minutes to play here in Kearney. And Reagan Stanley's just kind of pushed out of bounds by Addie Rennerfelt, number 2, just a freshman. So Seagren's a freshman and Rennerfelt's a freshman, 2 great players off the bench for Oakland-Craig. So a bright future for Joe Anderson and his Knights on the inbound. Sidney top of the key. Here's Ramsey. Ramsey goes to Weiser. Pump fake. Driving right side. Riddle and in on the right-handed layup. And a timeout is taken by Tyler Shaw of Sidney as they are down 15 with 1 minute and 32 seconds. We'll stay right here. Like I said, Oakland-Craig, they have a couple home games, or excuse me, a couple road games before they're back at home. BRLD and then Elmwood Murdoch, and then back home against Decatur Herman. And then for the Sidney Raiders, they are a couple hours away to the west. Sidney's at home against Mitchell on Tuesday night, and then away against Ogallala, home against North Platte.
Here it looks like we're trying to get a replay. Sorry to interrupt there. She is most definitely out of bounds. If you look right there, that foot is completely out of bounds. Let's run it again. You can definitely see some margin of blue there between her foot and the court.
Yeah, so that will be a clear. Shouldn't take too long. And yeah, it was out of bounds. 53-38, minute and a half to play here in this game. Up 15 again, North Bend Central. They take on Grand Island Central Catholic after this.
Taking it out here for the Oakland-Craig Knights is Sid Gazinski.
And Gazinski on the inbound. The press coming from Sidney, trying to get a couple turnovers. Well, there's one. And Sidney takes over on the overthrow from Gazinski. And now Sidney needs to knock down a couple shots, get a couple stops, and see what can happen as Reese Riddle is on the inbound right next to her Sidney bench.
Sidney's definitely going to need a little bit of a miracle here if they're going to pull this one back. Minute 22, down 15, definitely possible. I mean, crazier things have happened as that one's going to be no good, and the rebound there does get picked up, turned over. Sidney getting every opportunity they need here. Another three-pointer. That one's also no good, off the top of the basket.
So since it went off the top of the basket, goes back to Oakland-Craig automatically, but Oakland-Craig has to play a little bit of cleaner basketball. And now Sidney getting a fresh 5 into the game for the Lady Raiders. Chloe Yarns is in, number 10. Number 13, Jordan Tanovelis is in. Allie Deal, number 3. Number 24, Kayla Westby is also in. And then number 34 is also into the game for the Lady Raiders. And now Reagan that is number 2, Addie Rennerfeld. Fouled is Nelson. And Nelson goes to the line for 2 free throws. 52.9 to play in the game, and that'll be the third personal on Kayla Westby, the team's 8th.
I think if the free throws are made here, that definitely could be called the dagger. Kind of those final just solidifying points here for Oakland-Craig. They have played such a phenomenal game, and afterwards we'll do the Dairy Queen MVP player of the game. Honestly, from this Oakland-Craig team, there could be a good 2 or 3 players. Both Chaney sisters, Sadie ahead. They were both at 16 points now. Sadie Chaney with 17 points. So it'll be interesting to see who they pick. Every player on this team, that whichever player does get it deserves it. This team has played great.
And Jordan Tanovelis gets her first bucket of the day. She has 2 for the freshman, getting her name in the paper at the basketball showcase, and with 22.8, a travel violation is called. And I believe Oakland-Craig will now begin to empty their bench out. Get a couple of those reserves into the game. Kara Selkin, number 10, is in.
Emma Johansson, number 54, is in.
Emma Johansson is into the game. Macy Johnson, number 4.
Number 32, Morgan Ray is in, and a fast break here for Sidney. Number 24, Kayla Westby.
And Westby, she saw some time in the first half, gets a bucket there. And with that being said, that will be it. 55-42, Oakland-Craig improves to 9-3, and the Sidney Raiders drop to 10-2 on the year. It was a fun battle that Oakland-Craig really had the advantage from the beginning.
Yeah, they did, and I'm excited to see, like I was just talking about, who they name as player of the game here. We'll find out in just a second, and then that player will go do a post-game MVP Dairy Queen player of the game interview with Mike Stoddard. These two teams both played great. Like I said, a lot of good matchups here today. Next, we have the North Bend Central Tigers versus the Grand Island Central Catholic Crusaders.
So there it is, our Dairy Queen player of the game, number 0 in Chaney Nelson. Nelson had an impressive stat line today, finished with 16 points on the day, and her team gets a victory. Chaney, just a junior, and it was very impressive today for the Knights. And knocking off, as a C2 school, knocking off Class B Sidney. And just an impressive showing from the get-go for Chaney Nelson and the Oakland-Craig Knights.
Yeah, so we're getting ready down here.
Absolutely so.
To our MVP player of the game interview, so we'll cut over to that any second now.
We have Mike Sauter. Should be.
So, you guys made a little more shots in the second half.
Yeah.
Hold on. You guys made a few more shots in the second half. Got the job done, and player of the game. I mean, that's fun, right?
Yeah, it is. You know, we've spent a lot of time shooting these last few weeks. We've been struggling shooting, so I think it definitely paid off this game, and it's a huge game for us. And my teammates are just so great at looking to shoot, and we're so selfless, and whoever's on is on, and we try to get them the ball, and it's not always the same person, so I love my team. We're super selfless, and whoever's shooting shoots.
You guys play pretty hard. I mean, that's a style. I mean, obviously, style of the coach and how you guys normally just play. But today, it's a pretty physical game.
Yeah, we love to work hard. We love to hustle. If we don't, they get on us. But we love it. We love the fast-paced game. We don't like to play slow, and it's just so much fun to keep the game moving. And we've all done club basketball, so it's always more fast-paced, and we just adapt to every team we play. So.
All right, congrats.
Thank you so much.
That was our Broken Bow Dairy Queen player of the game, Chaney Nelson. We will be back after a few short breaks or minutes here at the Nebraska Girls Basketball Showcase in Kearney.
Here at Kearney High School, 55-42, Oakland-Craig knocks off the Sidney Lady Raiders. It was a fun matchup, and we hope you stay tuned for the final 2 games of the day today. And to anybody who watched the Sidney Oakland-Craig game, we thank you for joining our broadcast at any point. And with that being said, stay tuned for the 2 games left, and we'll see you shortly.